President Trump signed a number of executive orders Tuesday, including one that would require proof of citizenship to register to vote in federal elections. He's also calling for all ballots to be received by Election Day across the country, and the executive order calls on the Election Assistance Commission to amend voting system guidelines. CBS News Justice Department correspondent Scott MacFarlane is in Washington. Scott, what's the significance of this executive action?
This could be profoundly important ahead of the 2026 midterm elections, which is really the next opportunity for Democrats to get back into power in part of Washington, in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate. According to critics of this executive order, it is an overreach by the president into the work of local and state governments. The execution of elections is a local matter with very little federal oversight. What the executive order calls for, Lindsay, is a federal requirement for proof of citizenship by anybody who votes in a federal election. It also could call for the decertification or recertification of those voting booths in communities nationwide, a Herculean undertaking before the next election. It also would prohibit states and communities from accepting and counting ballots that arrive after Election Day itself, even if they were sent on time and even if local laws allow for that. This is on a beeline to the court system, Lindsay, for legal challenges.
And Scott, you have sources that you've talked to. How likely is it this will stand up in court?
It seems unlikely all of this is going to be accepted by all courts. In fact, the lawsuits aren't just inevitable. They could be imminent. Take a look at the comment from the Secretary of State in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, who says that the department is reviewing the action, but then makes the argument that in addition to the department being committed to executing appropriate federal laws and elections, that this appears to be an overreach by the Trump administration, that this is an extension beyond what federal legislation and what federal laws allow. An overreach, that's the word we keep hearing, but there's a more pernicious thing, Lindsay. Even if this doesn't stand up, even if this is knocked down by the courts, it starts to sow those seeds of distrust in federal elections, which ended up with violence and an unstable America after they were used in 2020.
It's sowing doubt because it's essentially saying there's a problem that needs to be fixed.
And that it won't be fixed. But it's also built on a pretty faulty foundation, Lindsay, that there's widespread voting by undocumented immigrants, which has never been proven in court. That's the impetus for this executive order. That's an argument that likely will be made if the 2026 elections don't go the way everybody wants them to go.
Have to be quick with you, but we've seen the president target law firms in executive actions. He did this in one against Chicago law firm Jenner and Block, also singling out attorney Andrew Weissman. Catch us up to speed on why they've drawn his ire and the bigger picture. Four major law firms now under scrutiny and under restrictions by the White House. Some are challenging it. One has tried to settle this matter to get it off the president's docket. What the president's arguing is that these firms are involved in lawfare, targeting politically Republicans, he alleges. They deny that, but just these executive orders coming down targeting law firms could chill other firms from taking cases the president doesn't like. Scott MacFarlane, thank you.